What took me to India was not so much the darkness and brutality of the event itself, but it was the unprecedented response to that. Because within 24 hours, unprecedented numbers of men and women poured out onto India's streets and continued to protest for over a month. I was so moved and so in love with these protesters that I felt I had to go and amplify their voices. And so through this particular case, I'm looking at the issue of the violations of the human rights of women and girls, which is pandemic not just in India, but across our entire world.
It was a completely peaceful protest. And then, within 20 minutes, it turned into a war zone.
I knew the minute the protests turned violent because it seared my heart. Governments always crack down, don't they, when civil society calls them on what they should be calling them on. Indeed, India banned my film because it would not look in the mirror and see the truth that this film presents. Very selfish action, actually, because this isn't a film about India. It's not about them. It's about women and girls the world over. I had fallen in love with these protesters because here they were, protesting for me, for my rights as a woman, far away in India. But if you're a woman or a girl, you know that we as women experience that degree of brutality, disrespect, abuse. I was raped when I was 18. 1 in 5 women across the world are raped. 1 in 3 women endure violence because they are women. And so, of course, when these people came out with such vigor and tenacity and passion and commitment and protested to that degree, I took it personally. The solution, quite clearly, is mindset change. And you only get mindset change through education. But it's not education as we know it. It's not education as we think of it, because education as we think of it is woefully inadequate. We are failing our children because we are not educating their hearts. We are only educating their heads. We're teaching them numeracy and literacy and reading and writing and arithmetic. We're preparing them for a certain productive life in skills, in careers. What is the point of a child leaving school with 7 A+ and going and raping someone the next week? Or going and joining ISIS and beheading someone? Because actually, both those things stem from exactly the same impulse and conditioning, which is a discriminatory mindset which tells them that there is another who is of lesser or no value in comparison to them.
बराबर नहीं है लड़की लड़का लड़कियों के लिए बनाया गया घर काम काज अपना घर-बार देखे ये थोड़ा रात में डिस्को में घूम रही है बारों में घूम रही है लड़के भी उतने उससे ज़्यादा जिम्मेदार हैं रेप के लिए ये लड़के हैं उससे ज़्यादा.
The solution is called ThinkEqual. It's an initiative that I founded in April last year, and in this mere year we have gathered together the world's experts and visionaries in social emotional learning to teach children empathy, compassion, respect, perspective-taking, critical thinking, to break down gender stereotypes, to sensitize them to the other, to teach them to love and not to hate. Nelson Mandela said, no child is born hating another person because of the color of their skin or their religion or their gender. A child has to be taught to hate. And if he or she can be taught to hate, well, they can be taught to love.